Hi there, it's me, Reed.
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're glad that you've joined us for a Faith at Home listening practice.
We're going to be reading Psalm 93 today. Psalm 93 from the New Century Version. It's a very brief psalm, so it shouldn't take long.
As we listen, I'd invite you to take a few calming breaths if calm is something that you can access today. And if you can't access it yet, often the process of a few deep breaths and of listening to something like this can be helpful in finding a space of calm, a space of listening. I have my notebook, as I usually do, and I'd invite you to take notes for yourself if that's something that matters to you. So we'll listen to Psalm 93. And what are we paying attention for in this first reading?
Well,
As though, why can I not remember this 1 second after, having done this 120 times?
my recommendation would be to listen for something that sticks out, but of course do what you like. God is speaking, I guess, is the focus of this. And we're trying to hear what God is saying. And try to pick up on something that sticks out, a word or a phrase, or maybe something that just comes to mind in the midst of this, related to this. You go, oh, that's what you can do. And why don't you read first?
All right. Psalm 93. The Lord is King. God is clothed in majesty. The Lord is clothed in majesty and armed with strength. The world is set, and it cannot be moved. Lord, your kingdom was set up long ago. You are everlasting. Lord, the seas raise their voice. The seas raise up their pounding waves. The sound of the water is loud. The ocean waves are powerful, but the Lord above is much greater. Lord, your laws will stand forever. Your temple will be holy forevermore. What stands out to you in that today?
The penultimate verse talks about the ocean waves being powerful. But the Lord above is much greater. And that was interesting to me. Not a surprise if God indeed created everything. The creator would be greater than the created. But sometimes we do need a reminder, perhaps, that in the midst of the world, what's going on can seem overwhelming. But God is there, and God is greater than all that stuff.
The piece that stands out to me is that repeated phrase, the seas raise, the seas raise, the seas raise. And it does have that sort of building sense of crescendo. And that's what stands out to me. It leads to, I think it leads to the piece that you hear and notice. That while the seas may rise up higher and higher, or the loudness may become whatever in our circumstances, that God is powerful. God is greater.
Yes. I'll read it again. Or I will read it this time, is what I meant. And the thing we're listening for this time is an invitation of some kind. God is calling you to something, towards something.
In this relationship that we have with God, there is a back and a forth. It we hope, becomes conversational over time, that we don't just throw our prayers at the heavens, or that God doesn't just shout commands at us, that there is a conversation, a give and a take, a a way of being that nourishes who we are as people. So an invitation is the call of the divine for us as we walk into the next days and hours. It's a call perhaps for a bigger space of time, but it's something that is real and fits in our everyday lives. I'm ready to listen for an invitation.
Sure. Psalm 93. The Lord is king. God is clothed in majesty. The Lord is clothed in majesty and armed with strength. The world is set and it cannot be moved. Lord, your kingdom was set up long ago. You are everlasting. Lord, the seas raise. The seas raise their voice. The seas raise up their pounding waves. The sound of the water is loud. The ocean waves are powerful. But the Lord above is much greater. Lord, your laws will stand forever. Your temple will be holy forevermore.
So the invitation that I hear is, instead of rising up with, like the sea, to instead calm down. Settle in, Jennifer. I am at work. You can be calm. And so I will work on that process today, in conversation, in dialogue, in writing, in the various ways to settle in, to calm down, and to build that relationship of trust.
The Psalm talks about God setting up everything. The world is unmovable. God's kingdom was set up long ago. There's things in place already, instituted by God, that I have no power over, but are for my benefit, in a manner of speaking. The world may be very disconcerting. The waves may be roaring and powerful and scary, whatever those are. Whether they're actual physical waves, water waves, or if they're other things, waves in our lives. But God has been there from the beginning. There's this foundation of God from the beginning. We don't have to build it fresh now. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to institute it ourselves. The invitation is to go back to that understanding that God set things in place, and God is there from the beginning up until now and even into the future. And I should count on God rather than be concerned as much. Easier said than done. As concerned about those things around me that are disconcerting or disturbing, troubles which will come.
I wonder what you notice as you listen with us today. What stands out to you? How do you hear the divine speaking to you in the midst of this? We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being with us today.
See you later.
Bye-bye.